Tyabji. Hi, I'm Judy Tyabji. Thanks for joining us today. And just before we get to the program, I want to let you know something that should probably mention again. We frequently will check to see how many attempted calls there are to a show to determine how much you enjoyed the show. That's not always a very accurate way of doing it, but today's show especially, we will check to see how many of you tried to get through. We can actually find that out afterwards, and actually it's very encouraging when we see those numbers, but today's show is very special. And today's show is going back to the subject of children. And as you know, in the past, we've talked about special needs children. We've also focused on Unicef, and today it's related to that. We've also talked about runaways and child poverty. And we return to the subject of Unicef in terms of children's broadcasting. On Sunday, it's the International Children's Day of Broadcasting, something that frankly I hadn't heard about before, but it's been around since 1991. And Czech TV has chosen to support Sunday's efforts for International Children's Day of Broadcasting. And since we're not on Sundays, we're doing a bit of a preview today, but tune in on Sunday as well and you'll see more children participating in broadcasting. Now, many of us, when we think of Unicef, think of those little orange Halloween boxes. So we wanted to first give you a bit of an overview of what Unicef's about, and then we'll come back and tell you more about today's show. In November of 1989, the countries of the United Nations signed on to the Declaration of the Rights of the Child. This acknowledged the changing role of children in their communities. UNICEF, the United Nations International Children's Emergency Fund, was formed after World War II to protect the basic rights of children, and has made significant progress in 50 years.
For the very first time, a document has been signed giving rights to all children everywhere.
In many countries around the world, children are participating in major change. In South Africa, organizations of young people help fight apartheid and continue work toward a better constitution.
I think we're going to carry on. With this even there in Transkei, because I don't think that you're going to speak once and then the government will hear us and everything will stop. We're going to continue.
And in Brazil, extreme poverty forced many young children to live on the street, and the price they paid for this was very high. As in many places, violence and drug addiction were part of the street culture, and many of these children were being killed by the police. In the late 1980s, street boys and girls banded together to end the abuse and killing of street children, and ending up changing the laws. UNICEF is involved in numerous projects around the world to help educate and improve living standards for children and their villages. In the past decade, they have assisted children's organizations in effecting positive change. This year, UNICEF has declared December 14th as the International Children's Day of Broadcasting, and is working with radio and television stations around the world to allow children to have a voice to express their views, and to follow through on their right to be heard, as it is outlined in the Declaration of the Rights of the Child. And in our own backyard, we have children. Actually, today you can see in the Vancouver Sun a story about the increasing poverty of children in Canada and how this is affecting their lifestyles. But we have children in Victoria who have something they want to say to you. And actually, Lee McKenzie worked with them to get them used to the idea of putting together a television story. But this story is their idea. They've put it together, and as you can see, they're the ones who've done the interviews. And the subject that they chose was graffiti. Let's take a look at what they did.
Hi, my name's Aaron Vold.
And my name is Samus Rang.
Hi, we're gonna look up the definition for graffiti because we're doing that topic for this newscast. Graffiti. Written or drawn, scribbled or scratched on wall.
Well, we certainly see a lot of that around here.
I'm gonna show you some graffiti. Come on. This is Blanchard School, and I see some graffiti spray painted on by, I think, some gang member, and I think it's very damaging, destroying to school property.
Well, here is some graffiti we're going to show you. The school has painted over it, but you can still see some of it. Here it's been blasted, but you can still see all the bumps from where the graffiti used to be. So it really doesn't disappear from the background. What do you think about graffiti?
I think it ruins our school's reputation.
I think it's like bad because people like vandalize stuff and they like make like schools spend more money on stuff they could like buy more computers or something.
I don't really like it because then you have to like use all the school funds to repaint it, and you can use it on books and stuff like that.
Pretty cool drawings, but they shouldn't do it on our school.
Do you know how to stop graffiti?
Like nobody can stop it from happening because there's gangs all over the place here, like the BCC and like all the graffiti's going on. You can't stop it because like people go out at night and stuff, and they like draw on the walls and stuff, like do graffiti.
Well, you can like put up a sign at an old warehouse. It's going to be like torn apart to say, put your graffiti here, and maybe it'll stop it from going on the school.
I think they should make an indoor graffiti center so young people can like express their drawings.
I think they should do it somewhere that isn't vandalizing another person's property.
And here are 3 things that I already learned from these students. First of all, graffiti is on the rise. It's everywhere. Secondly, a lot of it is communications from gangs, something that I'd like to learn more about from them today. And thirdly, that it's starting to cost a lot of schools money, for money that could go to other resources. When we come back after the break, our 2 students join us, and they will actually be taking over some of the show that I would normally do. And we also have a representative from Unicef. And we'd really like to hear from you with your calls. You can ask them all kinds of questions. They're very articulate, and we'll take your calls to this number.
How can you give someone a taste of something this refreshing, this cool, this holiday season? Give a Brita water filter system. It's a really cool gift.
Call to order Rogers Me TV now and you could win a trip to historic England.
I'm so into history.
Or one of 10 Sony home theaters. There's over $300,000 in prizes, including a grand prize of $50,000. The earlier you enter, the more chances to win. And with 16 channels for as little as $5.99, you can't lose. Order Me TV today to win. Call 1-888-ROGERS-1.
Who's the next name on my list? What's that special someone's wish?
We're opening early this Saturday for our last Super Saturday and Sunday of the year this weekend at Sears. All across Canada, you'll find huge store-wide savings on all furniture, major appliances, hardware, bed and bath fashions, women's dresses, and lots more.
It's your Christmas wish store. Come see the merry side of Sears.
Melvin, wait!
Melvin, wait!
Shut up, kid!
Melvin Udall has an effect on men.
Yes! Maybe this can wait.
On women.
It's once you can sit at someone else's table.
And on animals. This Christmas Day,
Definitely a package you don't want to open or touch.
he'll have an effect on you.
Do you get me, sweetheart?
Jack Nicholson,
Don't you be like me.
as good as it gets. Special sneak preview Saturday night.
Check TV. It's here. George and Leo. Mondays.
Well, what are you doing? I'm writing something that requires concentration and silence. Oh. Can 2 people do it?
George and Leo. It's here. Mondays. Check TV.
And graffiti is appearing in more and more places around our community. All of these things that you're looking at showed up around Victoria. Many of them are actually communications from people involved in gangs, and many of us have been thinking about gangs in the wake of Rena Verk's murder. And we're going to ask the children about that today as well. And if you 2 have questions for me or for the viewers, go ahead and ask, like, hey, how come we don't get enough something or whatever. Now, our 2 guests, Aaron Bold and Samich Rang. Thank you very much for joining us. Now, you're both of Blanchard Elementary, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I need to ask you first about this graffiti and gangs thing. I didn't know that there was that kind of relationship. How do you know about gangs from the graffiti?
Some gangs like hang around the community center.
Near Blanchard?
Yeah.
And how do you know they're gangs? Like, do they have jackets or?
Well,
I don't know, but like I think like there's lots of graffiti like on like the community center, and I think that's why that's where they hang out.
Right. Do you ever get kind of scared that the gangs might, you know, intimidate you? I mean, you guys, you're 11, right?
Yeah.
And Aaron, you're 12.
Yeah.
So you're not involved with gangs?
No.
No. How old are gang members usually?
Mostly any age, between like 10 and over, probably.
Really? So some can be 10 years old and be involved in gangs?
Yeah.
How do you get involved in a gang?
Maybe by your brother, big brother.
Oh, yeah. They'll sort of recruit you or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what do they do?
There's some people pressure you to. When you don't really want to, they make you do it, or you'll get beat up by them.
Really? And so do they approach you at school or after school or?
No, I know most of the people around, so.
Yeah. And is like what I'm saying is, would gang members approach kids at school?
No.
No.
No? So would they do that after hours or at the mall or?
Yeah.
Probably, yeah.
Okay. We wanted to talk to you a little bit about Rena Verk's murder. How much did you hear about that being young?
Well, I heard that she was spreading rumors, so the 3 kids got really angry at her and just plotted revenge, probably.
Yeah. And did you heard about that afterwards or?
Afterwards, yeah.
Yeah. What did you talk about it in class at all?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you? What kinds of things were being said?
Well, I like every morning we have like news, and so we bring in a piece of news and we like write it down, so we have it in our news book.
Oh, okay.
And we know.
So something that you do as like a current events part of your class
Yeah.
or something. And what were the students saying about this? I mean, did any of the students say, geez, you know, we should maybe try to stop the gangs? I mean, is there even that, or is it just too
Not
big an
really,
issue
because some people are afraid.
of stopping that?
Hmm.
Yeah. And what about your teachers? What did they think about it?
We just talk about it in class and how we could like prevent it from happening.
Right. A hot lunch program. You guys have that at Blanchard Elementary.
Yeah.
Can you tell me about that?
Well, like I think we get like hot lunches. I don't know where we get hot lunches, but sometimes we have like pizza bread, sometimes pierogies. Pierogies like carrots and milk.
And is this something that a lot of the students take part in?
Yeah.
Do
Mostly
they?
all of them, yeah.
Almost all of them at Blanchard? Because not every school has them, I know that,
Yeah.
but there's more and more. And what do you think about that? Is that working for the students, the hot lunch
Yeah.
program? Yeah. Do you know a lot of kids in your school who don't have lunch otherwise? Like, are there poor kids at your school? Because there's a report in the newspaper today about poverty in kids. I'm just wondering if it's something that you ever know about.
We don't really know.
No, I guess it's not the sort of thing kids would talk about, eh? Would kind of be embarrassed. Yeah, I want to bring in Saren Norris Monahan. Yeah. Now you're with the BC Unicef in Vancouver, is that right?
Yes, we have a regional office here in Victoria, so we're Unicef Victoria.
Okay. And now International Children's Day of Broadcasting. This is something I actually hadn't heard about until this year. What is the purpose of it?
Well, we're thrilled that you picked it up.
Hooray for the internet.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it was established in 1991 with UNICEF and the National Academy of Television Arts and Sciences. They launched the International Children's Day. And we are hoping that the broadcasters locally and nationally will pick this up so children will have a platform to hear their voices. Youth voices must be heard,
right?
And children have things to talk about. And
yeah, I've learned a lot just talking to them right now. Yeah.
And adults need to hear what children have to say also.
Okay. Now we're actually going to do something a little differently today, because Samich is going to help me with the phones, and I'm going to still write them down. But actually, she's going to help you with the phone. So as you call in, she'll greet you. So I will. You can greet this person first.
Hello, Varric from Victoria.
Hi.
Tom, go ahead.
I've changed what I originally had to say because I think it's utterly disgusting what happened to Rena Verk, right? She was just a young girl, and what they did to her was just pure evil.
Yeah.
But like in the matter of gangs, I think it has to do with being accepted and having a sense of power. And it seems to be over the last couple of years. I've lived here all my life, right? And the last, I'd say probably the last 4 years, it's got really bad. And the Victoria Police Department has done nothing to crack it down. Like, they say they have, but they really don't. If they wanted to, they'd actually go out and try. You know what I mean?
Okay. Well, I think that's, I'd love to hear what the kids have to say. You can actually help me with the buttons maybe a little later. Be careful. So what are your comments on that?
Well, nothing really. I think I agree with him a lot. It's really disgusting.
About what happened.
Yeah.
But and gangs seem to be getting more and more common. I have a 9-year-old son, and for the first time, he's starting to experience some bullying. Erin, you mentioned before the show started, you're not really a bully. You don't bully, but you're also in grade 7.
Yeah.
Now next year you're going into a high school.
Yeah.
What are your concerns there?
I might get bullied on. Like, people who are, like, very, very cocky, like, will probably get beat up.
Yeah. And do you see that happening, or do you just hear about it?
I hear about it and, like, see it sometimes.
Do you? Now, if you see violence like that, do you feel comfortable going to an adult? I mean, that's really important. How much do you trust adults?
Well, it's pretty hard, like, going to an adult because, like, if you rat on them, they might get revenge on you and try and beat you up.
Do you feel like you'd get protected if you talk to an adult? Like, would the adult protect you from, getting beat up afterwards?
Maybe.
Maybe not.
Yeah, because sometimes they can't watch us 24 hours a day.
And so you feel kind of vulnerable.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, you can take that one then.
Right. Hello, Jetta from Mill Bay.
Hi. I'm a teenager myself, and I've been in roughly 2 different gangs, one on the mainland and one here. And I've actually been captain of one. And I will tell you that it depends on what gang you're in. There's a lot of, like where I live, there's a lot of gang wars here every day. Literally.
Gang wars?
Gang wars.
In Mill Bay?
Well, it's a little north.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, it's a daily occurrence. What Rena had probably happened, I don't know too much, but if it was gang related, it was probably an execution. Because, I mean, there have been around here, believe it.
There have been that, you mean that young
I mean, some people don't realize, like, they think it's a suicide, but it's actually an execution.
Oh.
I mean, okay. I was out, like, you can't really tell them, oh, get out, because in some places like that I've lived, like on the mainland, right. If you weren't in, you'd get executed. You had to be one or the other. You cannot be neutral.
Okay.
It was just not an option.
Okay. If you know about these things, would you ever, I mean, as a gang member, would you ever go to the police with any
Well, I'm out now.
So would you go to the police with information about
For me personally, it would be like, quote unquote, a conflict of interest, because I also have police friends.
Okay.
And I have told like on some friends, but on one, like, he was wanted for rape, but I knew he was innocent, but I turned him in just to prove that he was innocent, and he was acquitted.
Okay.
And so it's like different stuff. If I see like some of my friends like smoking pot, I don't smoke myself, and or do any type of drugs. I don't even drink alcohol. But I mean, if I see it, I mean, it's like, I don't know. It's not something that I'd go. But if it was something big, I would.
Okay. Well, you've raised a lot of very provocative points. Executions. Have you heard of those?
No.
You haven't heard about them?
Never heard about it.
You're in elementary school. What about drug use? I mean, is that something that you hear about? Like whether
no,
it's
not
your
really.
No. Okay, so that's a little bit comforting. It goes back to the thing about the adults, though. I mean, are there people around you could turn to on these kinds of things?
Yeah, there's some people that can help you. Like there's a community police station in our courts. You can go there if you're in some trouble.
In the Blanchard Court?
But not anymore.
Not anymore?
No. Not only the downtown one.
Oh, did they close the community police station there?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And as I say, I'm learning quite a bit from this. We're going to share with you now a little bit of a background package actually on Unicef and some of the other work that we do. Although, even though I'm going to tell you this, I want you to know that today's discussion for the children's purpose is going to be, we want it to be local, and I think this is a great opportunity to talk about the gangs and the violence and all of these things. But let me share this with you with respect to children all over the world. And it's estimated that at least 13% of the world's children between the ages of 10 and 14 work. Most of them work for inadequate pay, often in conditions of slavery, bonded labor, or sexual exploitation, and some of that occurs in Canada. One of the key negative factors of this is that work hampers access to education, and many children end up never going to school. Children go to work because they have to in order for their families to survive. One survey shows that in Latin America alone, without the income of children, family poverty rates would jump by 20%. The most common form of work done is agricultural or domestic work done within their own families, what experts call invisible work. To fix the problem, Unicef says hazardous and exploitive child labor must end. There must be free and compulsory education around the world, as we have here, and tougher child labor laws. All children must be registered at birth so that it is known how old they are when they go to work. Corporations must adopt stronger codes of conduct concerning child labor and exploitation. And there needs to be better collection of data and stronger monitoring of invisible forms of labor. And maybe next time when we do that, you guys can read out the information package. We're going to take a break, and then we'll be taking your calls. And this is an opportunity for us to hear from children and to ask children questions about how they see the world. We'll be right back.
Tyabji is brought to you in part by Metro Lexus Toyota, leaders in customer satisfaction.
To help with your Christmas shopping this Saturday and Sunday, almost anything that fits into this Eaton's bag is 25% off. And if it doesn't fit, it's 15% off. Merry Christmas from Eaton's.
Call to order Rogers Me TV now and you could win a trip to historic England.
I'm so into history.
Or one of 10 Sony home theaters. There's over $300,000 in prizes, including a grand prize of $50,000. The earlier you enter, the more chances to win. And with 16 channels for as little as $5.99, you can't lose. Order Me TV today to win. Call 1-888-ROGERS-1.
I want to keep my smile for life, don't you? But everybody has plaque, the leading cause of gum disease. 3 out of 4 people will have some form of gum disease in their lifetime. You can do something about it. Interplaque by Conair is clinically proven to remove nearly all plaque, even below the gum line. Its unique cleaning action can actually reverse gum disease. And Interplaque is a leading ADA-accepted power toothbrush. Interplaque by Conair, recommended by dentists to keep you smiling for life.
Warham's key tags are a symbol of our work for child amputees. Through the CHAMP program, children receive the artificial limbs they need to lead active lives. As they grow up, the War Amps will be there, providing information, guidance, and so much more. The War Amps, amputees helping amputees. Thanks to your support of the key tag service, lost key return, now by courier.
Stop ignoring me! Those engineers put me here because you need jet dry in your cycle. Give me some jet dry. Let me fight that residue. Hallelujah! Look at that! Brilliant!
Jet Dry.
Mwah.
Your dishwasher was designed for it.
And today we're doing UNICEF's Children's Day of Broadcasting, a preview for Sunday. Our guests are Semich Rang, she's a student with Blanchard Elementary, and Aaron Bold is a student at Blanchard Elementary. And in addition to that, we have 2 representatives from UNICEF. Sarah Norris Monahan joins us now, she's a regional administrator, and Cheryl Scott joins us for the second half hour, and she's the regional chair. And as I say, you may notice on the radio stations and certainly at Check TV on Sunday, the Check TV News team are working with a group of children for that day too. And we'll go straight back to the phones, right? Okay, so we're starting, and Aaron's going to do this one.
Okay, Kelsey from North Vancouver.
Hi, Aaron.
Hey.
How are you?
Good.
I just have viewpoints about... Actually, Judy.
Yes.
I have a connection to you.
Okay.
Do you know a Bob Deeth?
You bet.
Yes,
He's one of my
stepbrother.
Oh, is he? Oh, there you go. Yeah, he's one of my partners.
Oh, yeah, you guys are producing movies or something, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
Another life. Yeah.
Yeah, there's connections to everything, I think.
Yeah, that's right.
I just have a viewpoint on violence in our lives, and I think it's a part of everything that we're heading towards.
Okay.
And I'm scared, and I don't know what to do about it.
Okay, I think that's a very important comment to make. Thank you for that, Kelsey. I'd like to ask you about that. A lot of us adults are really scared, and sometimes we're scared of you. Like when there's kids hanging around the 7-Eleven, you know, a lot of people feel scared about going in there. When you guys are walking down the street, you know, you're looking mad or something, and we think, oh gosh, I don't know what to do. What can you tell us about that? I mean, should we be afraid of young people today?
Kinda, not really. But if you ever see like a group of teenagers hanging around, I think you should go the other way. If your house is right beside where they are, just go through the back door or something so that they don't notice you.
Right. How do you feel about the future, though? When you like, do you ever look ahead? Or do you feel good about it? Do you feel scared about it?
I feel kind of scared because, like, yeah, just like her point, when like somebody's like hanging around like the entertainer, you just like go across the street, right? But then you like try and go the other way. They follow you, so you try and go home. They follow you, so
You can
I
be a
feel
little
kind of scared.
Yeah. Okay, and a little later we're going to talk again about violence as well. So now it's your turn.
Hello, Gabrielle.
Gabrielle. Sorry.
Gabrielle from Victoria.
Hello.
Hi.
I would like to comment on the Victoria police, how they're insisting that there are no gangs in Victoria.
Okay.
When there is so much gang violence, and I think that they should be buckling down and really trying to do something about this.
Do you see it?
Yes, I do. I actually done a gang prevention seminar in April.
Okay.
Last April.
All right.
And I'll be doing another one soon, sometime soon, but I think that there's something more that they can do, and they're just not trying as hard.
Okay.
They don't want to see it. They keep insisting that there are no gangs, they have a certain definition, but this is the beginning, and it's going to keep getting worse and worse and worse if they don't do anything about it now.
Okay, well, thank you for that. I actually want to bring you into this, Siran. I noticed that in the last 10 years in Canada, we used to, when we thought of UNICEF, we thought of children's problems as being in other countries. Now more and more we see children's problems. We hear about hot lunch programs are in many schools, which we've never have had before. We hear about child poverty and the difficulties they're having. And we hear about gangs, like as she was talking about. Now whether the current level of gang doesn't fit a definition, I don't know, but it does seem like there are more and more concerns about violence. What is UNICEF doing about that?
Internationally or locally?
I think locally is probably more relevant.
Well, UNICEF Canada or UNICEF International focuses on projects and problems in third world countries. UNICEF Canada leaves the problems, what you're stating, to the local agencies in the local centers, which there are very good ones. UNICEF, we look at the problems and issues internationally.
So there's really not a lot in terms of projects here. It just seems to me like at some point Canada's going to end up being on that list of projects that need to be done. You know.
You're probably right, Judy, but like I said before, the local agencies do address these, and there are good local agencies
So
in
maybe
the community.
We'll hear that from Cheryl on that maybe. Okay, well, so the next half hour. Okay, now, who wants to take that one? Okay, go ahead.
Hello, Shem from Vancouver.
Hi.
Hi.
I have a comment to make about, the drugs and the gangs. Like, I think, the teachers don't educate the kids enough, and also the parents. And everybody kind of keeps blaming the cops, for not really paying attention.
So when you say that they don't educate them enough, you mean on the issue of gangs?
Yeah, because when I was in elementary school and high school, nobody ever taught me about gangs or anything, because, I had to learn it on my own.
And did you learn about it?
Oh, yeah, I learned it from friends and everything. I had friends and everything in gangs.
Okay, well, thank you for that. I'm surprised. I mean, are there really that many gangs around? You have to understand, I have no idea about this, and because it's not the sort of thing that you hear about unless you know someone who's involved. So as a parent, that would be really valuable to know. Are there really gangs around? I mean, the graffiti, or is it just a bunch of kids who hang around together?
There's gangs around here.
Well, how do you know? What's a gang?
A gang is a bunch of people who are trying to act cool, but I think it's not.
Okay. And what do they do?
They try to act cool as they can, like to be in charge, to do anything they want, to have control.
So they kind of bully people.
Yeah.
And what do their parents do? Do you know? Like, do you know people who are involved in gangs?
They can't like really stop it, the parents, because like if the teenagers get really mad at their parents, they might retaliate on them.
Do you think the parents are worried that the teenagers might be violent with them?
Probably.
Yeah.
And that's interesting. Now, do you have older brothers, either of you, or older sisters who?
I have an older brother and 2 younger sisters.
Is there any problem there? Does he know about the gangs too? Is that something he's worried about?
I don't know.
Something to talk about, I guess, eh? Okay, we have to take a break. We'll be back after a quick break. Oh, and before we do, we will tell you how you can get more information if you'd like to participate with the International Children's Day of Broadcasting or with local projects, and we'll also talk a little bit about local projects after this break. Unicef Victoria is at 2230 Oak Bay Avenue, Victoria, BC, V8R1G5, and the fax phone there is 250-598-9922, and we will be right back.
Hi, sweetie. How's LA? Yeah, they do that there. Yeah, the place is looking fine. Pretty empty, though.
Any chance you could hop on a plane, be here for Christmas?
Yeah. Yeah, I miss you, too. There's someone at the door.
Discover the world of fragrances at the Bay and send her a message in a bottle. Give her the world's most romantic fragrance. Give her L'air de Temps from Nina Ricci. And with a minimum $49 purchase of L'air de Temps, you'll receive this beautiful gift with eau de toilette, body lotion, and shower gel. L'air de Temps. It's yours to discover at the Bay, your fragrance headquarters this Christmas.
Everybody loves peak cream cookies. My personal favorite are the fruit cream ones. You eat around the cookie, then have the middle part for the last.
Christmas time, it's just perfect. Any celebration. Island Farms has taken that all over, and anything that they make has got to be good.
Science in the aisle for you.
Vancouver Island's homegrown food store.
Thrifty Foods.
Your telephone and Pacific Coast Savings MemberLink touch-tone phone banking. Put them together and you get 24-hour banking convenience. MemberLink gives you access to information on your accounts, lets you pay bills, and transfer funds from one account to another. And with MemberLink, you can access your account from any touch-tone phone. You can even use your cellular. MemberLink from Pacific Coast Savings. Touch-tone phone banking convenience 24 hours a day.
Okay, come and read this. The question of the day?
Do you think children are exposed to too much violence on television? And what impact do you think that has on them?
And here's some comments.
I think that there's not enough violence on TV, and there's lots of violence on movies, but it doesn't affect me because it's cool.
It doesn't affect me, but I think it affects the older people because they beat up old people.
I think it should be on more often, because if there was like no violence on TV or television, where are we going to learn how to fight?
I think there is too much violence on movies, but it doesn't really affect me very much. Good answer. How does it affect you?
It doesn't affect me. I just like hit people, but not too hard.
It's pretty cool.
There should be more blood though. It doesn't affect me, but for little kids, they should take it off, warn them. Well, they do, but blood's good, and they need more violence on TV. That's what I think.
Yeah, that may have been bravado, but if that were one of my kids, they'd be in big trouble. Okay, we'll go back to the phones, and we welcome Cheryl Scott as well, who's the regional projects person with UNICEF.
I'm regional chair with UNICEF, but I'm also a chair of a local CYC, it's a Child and Youth Committee,
Great. So the Child and Youth Committee, we're going to talk a little later about graffiti and stuff like that for Victoria. Okay, and we're now going to talk to... Yeah, go ahead.
Kevin in Port
that's right, Coquitlam.
Okay, Kevin in Port Coquitlam.
Hi.
Hi.
How you guys doing?
Good.
Good. Yeah, I think one thing we should be talking about is defining the differences in these gangs. Like, everybody's hearing there's a lot of attention drawn to gangs and so-called criminal gangs. But what's happening out there, like in Victoria, is these are wannabe gangs. These are wannabe groups. This is a loosely structured group of people that are engaging in spontaneous social activity. And if people are fearing these gangs, like these wannabe gangs, well, it's only going to get worse, right?
Yeah, that gives them the power then.
Exactly. If you're going to give somebody power, well, they're going to go all the way, right? They're going to go as far as they can take it.
Right.
So if you acknowledge and you say, yeah, these are wannabe gangs, well, let them be known. Advertise these people, because then they are going to get labeled, and they are going to get thrown in jail, and they are going to go through the system and deal with what they have to deal with.
Okay, well, I think that's a very interesting and probably very valuable perspective. Do you think that if some of these gang members had their sort of a picture and said, okay, this person's a member of a gang, would that be a bit of a deterrent against them?
I don't know.
I don't know. What do you think? Do you know? Well, you don't know anyone who's in gangs, I guess, but what would you do to try to get rid of their power?
I don't know, because if we try to ignore them, they'll just go into our face and beat us up or something.
Yeah, but if instead, what if all the people who weren't part of a gang got together, kind of ganged up on the gangs?
I don't know.
You don't think that would work? I don't know. I guess we'll have to talk to a few more people. Let's try this one here. Can you read that?
Crystal from Victoria.
Hello. I just want to comment that I live within the 2-block radius of your Blanchard school, and I just wanted to say, yeah, there's a lot of graffiti, and my apartment building has been attacked. S.J. Willis School has been attacked. I've seen Blanchard School being attacked. I've seen it attacked absolutely everywhere. And when you mentioned the community police station at Blanchard Court, sir, yes, it is gone now. And reason why that is, I have no idea. I think it was the worst mistake ever made.
Right.
I find that the police patrol around here, yes, it is around, but that community police station, that Blanchard Court area alone, needs a lot of policing.
Okay.
And the community center there as well, yes, there's a lot of youth that hang around there. I walk by there all the time. And yes, the citizens of Victoria do not feel safe walking through that area, and it does hold that reputation.
Okay, I'm going to let Cheryl Scott talk to the issue of graffiti, actually, because that's something that came up in the first segment, and you have some comments on that.
I think we have to realize that the graffiti is here, and by asking the children not to do it's not going to make it go away. And there have been some positive happenings with graffiti. Well, I don't really want to call it graffiti. It's more a type of artwork. And I think to some degree the children are using this as a part of expression and maybe communication. So if that can be...
You agree with that then?
Channeled into a more positive way. There have been areas, part of the Galloping Goose, there's an overpass near, I think it's Jutland, and they've used artwork in there that the kids have done. There have been some areas in schools where they've had teen centers and the kids have decorated with their artwork.
Right.
So I think if they are given the opportunity to express the art, these kids are also very talented. It's not that easy to do some of the artwork, what they've done. But if we maybe give them an area to express themselves and for the art to be appreciated, hopefully that will lead to somehow alleviating that.
Now that's something that you actually mentioned in your story, Erin, that you thought that there could be an inside center, and you're agreeing that yes, it's a way of communicating? What do you think they're communicating?
I don't know.
All kinds of stuff? Like that's one of the things, you see now suddenly you're climbing up. It's like we're doing all the talking. I know you have answers to this. Anyway, I'm going to, remember we said that you're going to do what?
Okay, we're going to have a quick break, so we'll be right back.
What a pro. That's great.
Stop ignoring me! Those engineers put me here because you need jet dry in your rinse cycle. Give me some jet dry. Let me fight that residue. Hallelujah! Look at that! Brilliant!
Jet dry. Your dishwasher was designed for it.
I'm never at home. Why would I leave my phone there?
What do you get with Amigo Digital? Every month you get 100 anytime minutes and 100 first incoming minutes free.
Yeah, I'm free.
You get call display.
Staying in touch doesn't mean staying in.
And oh yeah, there's no long-term contract.
I call the shots.
And you get it all for just $19.95 a month. Amigo Digital. It goes with you.
The Tetley tea folk keep making sure they're as fit as they can be to keep making Tetley Canada's favorite cup of tea. It's up at dawn to count perforations. Better not miss even one. It's taste exercises and obstacle races.
And knowing a round tea bag from 40 paces.
So if you ever stop and wonder why Tetley tea is best, it's because when it comes to taste, Tetley tea folk never rest.
It's here where you can't relax.
What do you plan to do, Michael? Indict an entire police precinct?
If I have to. Michael Hayes, Tuesday nights at 9. It's here. Celebrating the joy of physical activity for 25 years. Participation.
Stop ignoring me! Those engineers put me here because you need jet dry in your rinse cycle. Give me some jet dry. Let me fight that residue. Hallelujah! Look at that! Brilliant!
Jet dry.
Mwah.
Your dishwasher was designed for it.
And we'll go straight back to the phones because the lines are jammed. They like you. Okay, now the next one is
John from White Rock.
Are you there, John?
Yep.
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't think about all these gangs and everything. I don't think you have to really worry about it because when you go into high school, you pick your own future. I'm personally in high school right now.
Okay.
And I moved from Ontario and I came in here with no friends and didn't know anyone. And if you do have, like you said, a cocky attitude and you walk into school like, yeah, I'm king, then you won't get along. And if you want to get into drugs, then you will. And if you don't, you don't.
Okay.
Like,
so you're saying that the kids have to be in charge of their lives?
yeah, like no one really forces you to becoming a gang member, and that's not really
Okay.
like if you want to become becoming a gang, then you'll stay late at night, and like you'll just hang around those kind of people. Otherwise, you'll just make your own friends, and high school's a blast.
Okay. Well, thank you for that perspective. What do you think? Go ahead. Now, I said during the break, no more of these I don't knows. You know, during the break, you guys are blah, 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 blah. Okay, come on. What do you think?
Sometimes people do choose to go in gangs, and sometimes they are forced.
How would you force someone?
Force them to, like, threaten their lives. Sometimes they force, and sometimes you just choose to go in.
Yeah, they like say, well, if you don't get into this gang, I'll really beat you up.
And then sometimes they also threaten other members of the family, I think.
Yeah, and sometimes they don't threaten you, you just choose to go in it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, sometimes it's your choice.
And I guess
And
that's for
sometimes
whatever
it's not.
reason. Yeah.
Well, I mean, just jumping in at this point, I think it's essential that we listen to what the children are saying. It's very important. And I think one of the things we can do, listening to what they're saying, is somehow give the tools to the children, and possibly at a younger age, to enable them to make the right choices and to make the right decisions when they are hit with trying to be enticed and pressured into a gang.
Yeah, okay. And I want to ask you a little bit about some kids who don't have parents waiting for them at 3 o'clock. That's tough too. Now?
Beth from Brentwood Bay.
Hi. I wanted to, first of all, thank Czech TV for responding to the spirit of the UNICEF broadcast day.
Right.
And to the children, congratulations. Hang in with using the modern equivalent of the pen being mightier than the sword.
That's right.
Nowadays, that includes all the media, the camera, the microphone, the computer, and so on.
Right.
Keep doing it and never give up hope.
Oh, well, thank you very much. Well, that's a nice sentiment. Because she thinks TV's pretty powerful. You know, UNICEF has these handouts about TV being such a big part of your lives. You guys watch TV. What do you watch?
Everything.
Like Simpsons.
Yeah.
Like.
Do you watch YTV?
Yeah, sometimes.
Sometimes. You're getting too old, aren't you? It's not cool enough for you, is it? Okay. Although, I know, our kids watch it too. Okay, now, who's that?
You do it.
Tina from Port Moody.
Hi. I, as a teenager's view, I felt very horrified learning about the girl in Victoria, and I just want to say that it's up to you to decide whether you're going to get into gangs or not. It's all up to you, and you shouldn't let anyone pressure you into it. So I think you should just stay strong and not be peer pressured into anything.
Well, I think that's a very wise suggestion. Thank you very much. I want to ask you, yes, that's absolutely right. It's up to the individual children. How many kids, though, do you know who don't have anybody waiting for them when they get off school?
Mostly all the kids.
Yeah. So
Except some people, if they live a far away, they get their parents to pick them up.
So other than that, I guess a lot of kids, they can hang around with some other kids after school for a couple of hours anyway. Is that when, what do you do if there's no one there for you at 3 o'clock? What do you do from 3 to, let's say, 5 or 6?
Well, sometimes I go to the Blanchard Community Center to hang out until 5. It goes from 3 till 5.
Right.
And on Wednesdays it goes till until 2 till 5.
Oh yeah.
And just hang out there until 5, and if you have nowhere else to go, just knock on a door of friends and go in.
Okay. And what about you? If you know some of the kids, what do they do?
Sometimes, yeah, the same as him. We have a community center across the school, which we go to hang out sometimes from about 3 to 5. And when the community center is closed, I just go to a friend's house if there's nobody home.
Okay. And that's, I guess, when you get a chance to interact a lot. And just sometimes I think that's when a lot of kids make the decision that gangs are the cool place to be. You get to be in a big group and, and guess what time it is again? Okay, your turn?
Yeah, we're going to go for a quick break, and we are going to be right back.
Very good. Very good.
To help with your Christmas shopping this Saturday and Sunday, almost anything you can cram into this Eaton's bag is 25% off the regular price. Designer fashions, accessories, pots and pans, shoes and pillows. If it fits in this bag, it's 25% off. And if it doesn't fit, it's 15% off. Merry Christmas from Eaton's.
Tefal, the #1 brand of non-stick cookware, is about to change cooking with this exclusive anti-warping stainless steel disc. This is Armoral. Inside, Armoral's new granite texture is even more scratch-resistant. The result, a non-stick pan designed to last even longer, both on the inside and on the outside. Armoral from Tefal, available at Canadian Tire, major department stores, and most other fine houseware retailers in Canada.
We're at your service. We're at your service. We're at your service.
Orchard Hill apple juice. Oh, they just love apple juice. They have it lunchtime, supper time, whenever they can. Yeah, you want some now, don't you?
Kraft makes a great dressing. Sometimes with chicken or something, you can just pour them over chicken, bake it in the oven. Kraft salad dressings. Guess I just trust the name.
The smiles in the aisle for you.
Happy holidays from Thrifty Foods.
Thrifty Foods.
You've been in a car accident. You've been injured. Now, you have to face ICBC. To get through, you'll need a guide like Taylor & Company. At every turn, Taylor & Company is there, offering a free consultation, a fee based on a percentage of the settlement, and no fee with no settlement. They handle all expenses. They've successfully gone through the maze for over 20 years. Personal injury cases can leave you lost in the system if you don't have a guide. Get Taylor & Company, and they'll get you through.
Coming up on Monday, we're talking about hunger and poverty. You may be shocked with some of that information. And then access to children at Christmas and cloning. And that one will be quite special. Today's is very special, too. That one will have Bishop Remy DeRue versus the Dean of Genetics at UBC on cloning. So, Dr. Jan Friedman. All right, now, Our next caller is a teacher, and her name is?
Miss B from Vancouver.
Hi.
Hi, go ahead.
Hello. I'd first of all like to say congratulations to the two youth.
Yeah.
Sremek, and I'm sure, sorry, I didn't catch the young man's name.
Aaron?
Aaron, thank you. I think the first step to making any significant changes is to be aware of a problem. And the next step is to talk about it. So I think you're doing a great job at that. I'd like to ask you, though, where do you get most of your information about gangs?
That's a very good question.
Around the community.
Yeah. Talking to people?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mostly.
Tell us about that.
Sometimes my big brother, like he blabbers around, and I catch him hearing talking about it.
If you wanted to see a gang, would you have a hard time figuring out where to look?
No, not really.
Really?
They hang around our school, hang around anywhere. They hang around where they feel.
Yeah.
Okay, so you've seen them before?
Mhm.
And so you may get some of your information from watching them, I guess.
Yeah.
What would you do if you saw a gang person beating someone up?
I'd go get an adult.
Okay, that's the right answer. All right, let's now talk to, can you see that one? That's the Sunshine Coast.
Kim from Sunshine Coast.
Sunshine Coast. Did you know where that is?
No.
Oh, it's very nice. Okay, go ahead, Kim.
Hi.
Yeah.
I'm calling in regards to a few things. First of all, the graffiti thing. I just wanted to say that, in fact, I know a lot of people that are artists and have made beautiful murals and stuff. I mean, it's not always gang related. And I think the other lady that's joining you there on the panel said something about that, and I thought that was really nice. Thank you for giving a lot of artists credit. But another point was about the teens that we've been talking about. It seems like there's a lot of negative energy focused on them, and being a youth in the community now, I know it's really hard. I grew up in town, actually. I haven't lived on the Sunshine Coast forever, so I've been both sides. And I think I'd like to point out that it's really important for us, instead of always to focus our energy on the negative aspects of teenagers, in fact, to reassess the situation and look at the problems that we're having with them, i.e. them hanging out, causing problems, and taking a look at that and thinking about what we can do about these problems, because in truth, it's teens that are just hanging out that are causing the problems. I know I'm one of them. I mean, I'm not causing problems, but I know from just hanging out,
Right, that you can see what's happening.
Yeah, it's instead of focusing our energy on all the bad things that are happening and frightening ourselves to death, really we need to look at the situation, reassess it, and think about what we can do about these issues.
Okay, I have to stop you there so the kids have a chance to talk about that. So, what do you think?
I think she's really right. Some of the graffiti is really beautiful art and some is not.
And I guess even if it's beautiful art, it gets painted over.
No, not really.
No? They keep
the
it?
person who owns that property likes it, sometimes they actually keep it there.
Well, that's nice. What about the image of young people? Do you think that people have a negative, positive? What do you think?
I don't really know.
Come
it's
on.
kind of both.
You're not doing the I don't know thing, are you?
It's kind of both.
It's kind of both. Okay. Okay. Now it's your turn, Aaron. You're going to this guy, right?
Okay, Chris from Victoria.
Hello?
Yep, your turn.
Okay. First thing I wanted to say is I'm just glad that the whole thing is being addressed in the media a lot more than normal. I just wanted to, about the police thinking that there are no gangs in Victoria, that there really are. They may not be labeled as any specific name like Bloods or Crips, but there are groups of people who basically just go around, do intimidation tactics, and basically are quite violent people. I would think.
Okay, I'm gonna let the kids respond to that. You were nodding quite a bit.
Yeah.
Okay, tell us why.
Because I heard of the Bloods and Crips before.
But not from Victoria.
No.
From somewhere else.
Yeah.
Do the gangs that you guys see have names, or are they just sort of groups of kids and they hang around?
No, it's just groups of kids just hanging out, trying to have fun.
Okay. All right, now we have. Can you read that one?
Cheryl from Surrey.
Very good. Go ahead, Cheryl.
Hi.
Hi, go ahead.
Actually, I'm calling with regards to quite a few things. And what I'm thinking of is actually the graffiti. Even if it's really beautiful, it usually does get painted over because it's considered illegal. And I find that very offending considering the fact that I'm a youth. And actually, not all gangs are like bad people and everything. I'm sure a lot of them are, but those are usually down in LA. Like, I'm from Surrey, and a lot, actually, pretty much all my friends, they're a part of a gang.
Okay.
But it's not really a gang. It's like a whole bunch of people that, like, they get drunk, they get high and stuff. And I'm not going to say that I don't do that, but because I do sometimes on the occasion.
Right.
But I'm just wondering, the young lady and young man, do you guys ever get pressured to do things?
I think that's a good question. Yeah. Do you get pressure to do things?
Not really, because I know a lot of people here, and they're mostly friends of mine.
So you can hang around with them?
Yeah.
Me too.
And I don't hardly get pressured about anything.
Okay. Now, maybe next time you guys come, we can talk a little bit about the drugs or drinking or whatever of some of the older kids, or even some kids your age, I know, are starting to get involved in that. You guys did great. Is there something you want to say to the viewers?
Thanks for calling in.
Yeah.
Good. Anything else? You guys are so quiet. I can't believe it. During the break, as soon as I tell you, as soon as we throw the break, it'll be yak. And Cheryl, thank you very much for joining us.
Oh, thank you very much, Judy. I think, as one of the callers mentioned, we have to keep in mind that a greater percentage of the children, of the youth, are really good, hard-working kids that do all sorts of wonderful things in the community.
Okay, I think that's an important point. We're going to show people also how they can contact UNICEF in general if they're outside of the Victoria area. You can contact UNICEF British Columbia, 536 West Broadway, Vancouver, BC, V5Z 1E9, and phone them at 604-874-3666. And they are also on the internet, www.unicef.org. And for today's show, you'd /ICDB. And as I say, we will be back after a break to talk about Sunday a little bit.
We all want the mildness of ivory. It doesn't have any additives or strong perfumes. That's why I trust the purity of ivory. Mild on her skin and ours.
For healthy-looking skin, the look is pure ivory.
The Ultra Downy Ball is the easy way to get Ultra Downy softness. Just pour and toss it in at the start. The spin cycle releases Ultra Downy into the heart of your wash.
You're gonna love it.
The Downy Ball.
Come on in.
We both have colds. Why is he up and at 'em, and I'm so tired and cranky and headachy I can't even get started. Why? Because last night when he said...
Let's take NyQuil so we can feel better in the morning.
I said, why? What's the nighttime sniffling, sneezing, coughing, aching, stuffy head fever, so you could rest medicine got to do with morning, silly? He took it. I took these. He got rest. I didn't. Why?
Vicks NyQuil, the nighttime sniffling, sneezing, coughing, stuffy head fever, so you can feel better the next morning medicine.
To help with your Christmas shopping this Saturday and Sunday, almost anything that fits into this Eaton's bag is 25% off. And if it doesn't fit, it's 15% off. Merry Christmas from Eaton's.
Stop ignoring me! Those engineers put me here because you need jet dry in your rinse cycle. Give me some jet dry. Let me fight that residue. Hallelujah! Look at that! Brilliant!
Jet Dry.
Mwah.
Your dishwasher was designed for it.
Hi.
Hi. Oh, that's a new addition to the family.
Oh, just beautiful. Got ABS brakes, easier access than ever. Side door impact beams, 40 standard safety features, and it's got a 5-star rating and front-end crash test.
And right now, Windstar comes with an all-star deal with our new 98 model at only $249 a month. But only at your BC Ford and Mercury dealer and only for a limited time.
And how about that gorgeous little baby?
He likes it too.
While many of us may be fortunate enough not to worry about where our next meal is coming from, the statistics on hunger and poverty in Vancouver and Victoria are astonishing. Right through BC, there's a serious problem, and as we head toward Christmas, we'll talk about it on Monday. And today, my two co-hosts join me right now. Look, you're looking at the TV set. You have to look over there. And I thought they did a great job, and hopefully they'll come back again when we look at this subject. And a reminder that today was just a preview of the International Children's Day of Broadcasting, which Czech TV participates in on Sunday. I hope you have a great weekend. My thanks to my co-hosts, and we'll see you on Monday.
It's here.